good question from Tamara, and I like it because it enables us to play a little game. First up, this is going to be a game that we're all going to play. I'm just going to check quickly if Tamara's actually online. She is. Hello, Tamara. How are you? All right, so let's all play this game. So here we are on Australia's biggest portal to buy a new car, carsales.com.au. Let's buy a new car together. All right, so first of all, let's decide what sort of car we want. So what sort of car shall we buy, guys? You tell me, what sort of car are we going to buy together? What's the car that we're going to go and buy? What is it going to be? What make are we going to buy? What model are we going to go buy? Let's have a look, see if we can buy a nice car. Let's see, what sort of cars do you guys want? Mustang, Volkswagen, an SUV, an Audi. Now this is interesting. A Mercedes SL55, an SUV. Jenny says a Porsche, of course. What other car is there? Alex says a Porsche. Mercedes, an E-Type. Chris says an E-Type. Chris, I'm going to go with you. All right. Even though, you know, I'm all over Porsches. But I think, let's go and buy an E-Type together. All right. Now, here's something interesting for you. You may want to think about this, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw parallels between buying a new car, well, not new, it doesn't need to be new, it could be a used car, but buying a car and ordering your products from a supplier in China. Okay, so I'm going to draw parallels between these two because I have no doubt that each of you has already purchased a car, and so I'm going to show you how it works and then draw the comparison between how it's exactly the same when you go shopping for products in China. Now, first thing first is, lots of folks said, we're going to buy and then gave me a brand of a car, like a Porsche, a Mercedes, or even a type of a car, like an SUV or a sports car, something like that. So, first thing that you need to know when you are shopping for a product to buy from China is specifically what you are after. So, you're going to need to get as specific as possible about the sort of car that you're going to go look for or product that you're going to go look for, because there's a world of difference between a fire extinguisher for a kitchen and a fire extinguisher for a gasoline fire, and a fire extinguisher for a car, and a fire extinguisher for camping, etc., etc., etc. So the more specific you are, the better you will do at sourcing your product. So that's our first thing. So now let's go and find our Jag E-Type. I remember when Jaguar E-Types, back when I was a boy, 50 million years ago, were like 5,000 quid you could buy a very, very nice E-Type for. So let's go and see what an E-Type now costs in Australia. All right, so we've got a nice E-Type here for, that's very, very sexy. Oh, yes, that's quite a sexy car. What about, let's buy this one, just because, you know, why the hell wouldn't we? 1965 Jaguar E-Type manual. All right, so now let's bring it back to shopping. So now we are on, let's pretend that we are now going through the process of looking for a new product to sell on Amazon. And we've come to, let's just say this is Alibaba's website, okay? So there's the comparison. Alibaba's website, car sales. Now, so the first thing we're going to do, we know we want to buy an E-Type. So we were presented with, let's just go back, loads and loads of different sorts of E-Types, yeah? So there's heaps of different ones for sales that we could buy, heaps of them. So the first thing we've got to do is what? All right, so the first thing we've got to do, so what's the first thing we've got to know ourselves about what it is we're going to go looking for? What are some of the things we've got to know? Tamara says budget. Love your work, Tamara. So you've got to know what your budget is. Erica says price range. Elaine, cost. Agnes, cost. Oh, I can see it's overlaid. Did you see? They're running households. God, women are just freaking awesome at doing this sort of stuff. So there you got your budget. All right, next you've got what age of vehicle you want to buy, Jenny says. Very, very good, Jenny. So we're kind of going deeper and deeper in. Ling says the quality of the car is important. Absolutely. Do we want a car that we're going to have to do some work on? like, for instance, maybe this car here? Or do we want a car that's had everything done to it, like this one here? We just buy it and ba-ba-boom, ba-ba-boom, we're off. Very, very good. Tony and Maria says the features on the car. So do we want a manual gearbox, or do we want a automatic? Do we want a convertible, or do we want a hardtop? Do we want the 6-litre engine, or do we want the 12-litre engine? Very, very good, guys. Kevin says the colour. Jenny says the colour. Sarah says the location. Very, very good. Jeanette, the purpose. Fantastical. You guys are killing it. Chamira says how many kilometers. Very, very good. All right, so when you're on Alibaba's website, if you bring to Alibaba's website all of those answers to those kind of questions about your product that you're sourcing on Alibaba's website, you can see already it's going to be a much different experience than if you just go to Alibaba looking for a new fire extinguisher, for instance. Much different experience. All right, so now, well done, guys. You're kicking ass. I love it. So now we've decided this one, because this looks mighty sexy. We've decided that we are interested in this car. All right, we're interested in this car. What is our next step now that we've found a car that we are interested in? What's our next step? I'm just deleting some things in here so I can keep up with what you guys type in. What's our next step? All right, Sarah says we've got to go talk to the seller. Absolutely. Sue says we've got to get more details. We've got to talk to the seller. So that's our next. Contact the seller. Well done, Tamara. Very, very good. So first thing we want to do is talk to the person selling the car. All right. Now, all things being equal, is it best that we talk to them on the telephone, or is it best that we email them back and forth? All things being equal. All things being equal. What's the best initial way of doing this, all right? We're buying this car. Should we email this person or should we call them? What's the best? Talk to them. Good. All right. Talk, talk, talk. Well done. Dog and bone. I'm with you all over that tomorrow. All right, so best thing we can do is call this person, and then we'll call them. And what's the purpose of the call for us? What is the purpose of the call for us? What is the purpose of the call for us? What are we going to call them for? What are we calling them for? Possibly tomorrow. Marie says information. Good. Annie says establish a relationship. I'm 100% behind that. Ling says info. So, two purposes. The first one is establish a relationship. Absolutely, I agree with that. And also to ask more questions about the product or about the car. So I want to suss out, is this person selling the car legitimate? Where did they get the car? How old is the car? We want to find out more information about the product. Now, the very, very best way to do that, of course, is to do that on the phone. Now, if you can't do that on the phone, because you're talking to China, for instance, then you have to email or use WhatsApp. Okay, so you can do one of those two things. WhatsApp, extremely good for chatting with people in China. All right, so we already know how much they want for this car. All right, so when we phone them initially, if we immediately say to them, I'll give you $450,000 for the car, what are they going to think about us? What are they going to think about us? WeChat, thank you for that, Lizzie. What are they going to think but the first thing we say to them on the phone is, I'll give you $450 for the car. What are they going to think? So Chris says that you're an idiot. Sue says you're a newbie. Ling says you're a newbie. Greg says that you're a tire kicker. Tamara says that you're a tosser. Tosser, beginner, bit rude, joker, not a good negotiator. Fantastic. All right, guys. So, and it's exactly the same when you deal with a factory. You do not start negotiating until later on, all right? So a bit later on. So let's just go through the process because it's really instructive to figure this shit out. It really, really is. Okay, so now we've talked to them on the phone. What is our next step? We're still interested. What's our next step? Okay, we like the car. We like what they've had to say about the car. What's the next step? Next step is what? What are we going to do? Jenny says, go for a test drive or get a sample. Well done, Jenny. Fantastic. Tracy says, can you see it? Fantastic. Santo says, go see it. Che says, test drive it, get a sample. Well done, folks. So next thing you want to do is you've got to go test drive the car. So you've got to go to the car, test drive the car, or in our little game, you've got to get a sample of the product, all right? We've got to get a sample of the product. So that's your next thing. Now, what is the purpose of the test drive? What's the purpose of the test drive? So now I'm rocked up. I'm at this person's garage. I'm looking at the car. I'm going to take it out for a test drive. What's the purpose of the test drive? Tim says, look and feel. Annie says, test for quality, quality check, suitability. Is it a good fit? Do we actually like it? Confirm it's the car for you. Does it meet the standard? Greg says, see how fast it goes. Fantastic. Agnes, make sure it runs well. All right, good. So, yes, the purpose of the test drive is to check it out at a deeper level. But there's another purpose of the test drive. We are now looking for reasons not to pay full price for this car. Okay? That, for me, is the real reason for the test drive. I am there test driving to negotiate the price. So I want to work out a list of all the things that are wrong with the car that would mean it would not be logical or sensible for me to pay full asking price for the car. That, for me, is the purpose of the test drive. Once I've sussed out that I actually like the car, that I want to buy the car, now I'm thinking, how do I negotiate the price for the car? So when you get your sample, you come from the space of, do I like it? Is it okay? Is the quality there? As soon as you've figured that out, then it's time to figure out, how can I negotiate a better price, okay? So, when is the time to negotiate the price of this car? Is it before the test drive or after the test drive? Before or after? After. Well done, guys. All right, so you negotiate always after you have test drove the car, because that's when you've got information about the car. Now, when you negotiate the car, there's two ways to negotiate. You can either say, hey, look, I like the car, but I don't want to pay $485,000 for it. I want to pay $450,000. That's my offer, $450,000, okay? That's one way to negotiate. Or you could say, hey, I like the car, but here's a list of the problems that the test drive has revealed about the car. First up, there's a bit of a knock in the steering wheel. Second, that second gear is a little bit loose. Third, the front tire on the passenger side is going to need replacing. Fourth, so you've got a list of things that are wrong with the car, and then you say, I estimate it's going to cost around about $30,000 to get those items fixed. If you'll cover that, I'll give you $450,000 for the car, and I'll pay that myself to get the car fixed. How does that sound? Now, which of those two negotiating strategies is going to get you the better result? Number one or number two? Option number two, of course. So, the key to negotiating with suppliers is just like negotiating for a car, a house, whatever it may be. You play the game and you inquire and negotiate about price at the right time. And the right time is always when after you've had the sample and you've checked things out. and then the more specific you can be about the problems of the product and what it will take to fix them, or what you will have to do to overcome them, the better. So with a product, my normal thing is, here's the things that are not right about this product. 3 or 4 things. Be specific as possible. Now, what that means is I won't be able to charge what I originally wanted to charge for the product, which was $30. I'm only going to be able to charge $24 for the product. So that means that I'm going to need to make my profit. I'm going to need to get the product at this price. That's a much more professional way of negotiating price than simply asking for a discount based on anything else. So that's what I do. Now, Tamara, you also said, which is really cool as well, I'm willing to pay X for an MOQ of X. All right, so in that situation, I really, really like that. So once I've done my negotiation, if I can't get the MOQ, the minimum order quantity that I want, let's suppose that they want to sell me 500 units at $10, okay? So a $5,000 order in total. And I only want to buy 300 units. So oftentimes what I will do is I will say to them, listen, you want to sell me 500 units. I can only sell, because it's my first order, 300 units. How about instead of paying you $10 a unit, I pay you $10.50 a unit and you sell me 300 instead. So I will pay them more to take less. And it's a really counterintuitive negotiating strategy that really, really works. And all I'm interested in is the total volume of money I've got at risk. That's what I'm interested in. There's a difference between having $5,000 worth of cash at risk versus $3,050 worth of $3,150 worth of product at risk. So I use that too as a negotiating strategy. Hey, thanks so much for watching that video, and I hope that you got some massive value from it. Before you go, do you live in Australia? If you do, this is for you. Would you like to learn how to sell things on Amazon here in Australia? Would you like to know what sells really, really well and what sells for the maximum amount of profit? Would you like to know where you can source those products from, whether that be in China or here in Australia, and how to source them so you pay bottom dollar and get maximum value for what you're doing? If you do, please subscribe to my channel and like this video, and you'll learn that and much, much more. It's the exact same information that people like Jeff from New South Wales I've used to make $45,000 a month on Amazon, that Sue, who's from the sunny coast, has used to purchase herself a brand spankly BMW every single year as a result of her e-commerce business, and the lovely Kate from Bowral in New South Wales has used to make $32,000 a year on, a month, not a year, a month on Amazon, and indeed Anthony, who makes $15,000 a month on Amazon, selling, as he puts it, odds and sods. If you'd like to learn the exact same information that they use to maximize their profits for their Amazon businesses, subscribe to this video, like my channel, post below if you want me to teach you something. Okay, I'm out of here. Speak to you soon. Bye. Subscribe. Do it now.